You know what? How about we do this format about me talking trash again, even though no one's wanna hear this. Not just that, but also, here you go. Have fun, buddy. Yeah, I got a couple of thoughts about what happened like today, especially, but in general also. Just give me a couple of seconds, okay? It was like peak 90s breakbeat, of course. But a lot of romplers and samplers, and very, very 90s kind of sound with the various funk rhythm breaks and whatnot. But yeah, ripping Rift Arena. As I was saying, man, nothing's more dangerous than somebody listening to music, making a video, driving around with a scooter, and it's fucking rained before, you know? Okay. So, what can I tell you? Jesus Christ, a lot of people around. Just fuck off. What if you insulted somebody with skeptic? You know? How would they react? How the fuck would you react if somebody skeptic to you, you know? I love how I divert myself from everything. Yeah. Those fucking train station announcements. As I was saying to the fifth time, it's quite hard to focus, to listen, to drive, to talk, in the meantime improvising. This was mainly about the fact that, I was driving from one train station to the another, and everyone had, every single one of them had the announcement, watch out for the curb, it's nice traveling, it's nice that you're traveling with our blah blah train station service and whatnot, and do mind the gap, and the train ends here, and the next train station stop at the next blah 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 goal, and we shortly will continue, and blah 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 blah, and the same in English and in German, but why not also French, Latin and whatnot, you know? Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up, man, please shut the fuck up, I just wanna start and finish, and just because you're jurisdiction, you know, just because you need to sort of disclaimer shit about like somebody should miss this sort of announcement stuff, why don't you let them sign some shit, you know? You have a fucking application, make him sign shit and shut the fuck up, man. It's seriously so painful, you know? And I wish it would get better, but it gets worse, you know? And especially, I think in Germany that's like peak. There's like peak narration form. Talking and talking. Just like me, you know? Never ever stopping. Like a Niagara waterfall, man. It's probably just because it's raining right now. But when the fuck will you guys stop, you know? I don't think you will stop. I'll take today the route through the city. You know why? Because I didn't use the city a couple of times. And it got like seriously very bad. You know? This time I won't do this again. So yeah, there's that. Fucking announcements all the time. Just grinds my gears. And not just that. I was like in, what was it? Speech to text, you know? With ChatGPT converting speech to text. And the fact remains, somebody was talking some trash in Russian, and somebody, I don't know, in English maybe, also German, very loudly, and I had to physically cover my head in order to stop the sound waves from transmutating in my fucking headphone smartphone, you know? And not just that, it's only speech to text, you know? AI is so smart, and we got like AGI and whatnot. Haha, shut the fuck up, man. No one believes you. If you would have like half a brain cell that would recognize only my voice, and I could set it up to my voice, you know? Besides the fact that it'll spy on me, you know? And make like, what is it, Viagra pill ads without my consent. I wish this shit would just work, but it does work, you know? Nobody thought about it. Like let's say I'm talking with some sort of shitty or good chatbot. How about it only focuses on my voice? Filter out all the other shit. But no, we're gonna focus about the surroundings. Not just focus, but hyper-focus. We're talking the main signal is not important, but the surroundings are hyper-important. You know? Not just this, sometimes even random sounds and ambient noises and sound effects get interpreted as words. And then like, yeah, haha, I got you, Merlin. You know? We could continue that. I didn't say anything. I did not say anything. Please just focus on my fucking voice. And I know that vocal speech pattern recognition is fucking hard. I do get that. But keep that in mind for the user using it. You know? You cannot expect me to travel on a train with high-end headphones via cable, which are cable-less, you know, on a Bluetooth transmission protocol on shitty headphones that have shitty microphones, whatever. You cannot demand this all of me unless I don't have the sound to, you know, when I'm talking with this shit. I think my English just great because it would be talking improvised. But you could fix the shit if you want. And I know it will never get fixed because we always fix sort of issues that are not relevant. And even though I love talking with ChatGPT, nothing better. Yeah. Everywhere are like festivals and parties and whatnot, even though it's raining. People should just stay the fuck at home, you know? Why cannot everybody be as miserable and insufferable as me? Have you ever thought about this, huh? Just be an insufferable count. It would enrich everybody. Everyone. pissing, you know, pissing. Just pissing, well, that is pissy. Instead of going and snowing and freezing, hopefully, you know. I hope it will stay this way. Yeah. Now we go into the zone where I can focus a little more on talking, even though the music is quite loud, blaring and blasting. But yeah, these are the couple of thoughts that I had in my head. Then there's one buddy of mine, he's always like, no, I'm right, you know? And you gotta be always careful about this. You get some backfire, you know? Even though I like it, but sometimes you're in something with something well. Yeah. And like I mentioned before, I'm also comfortable with something, but you have the option to choose in the relationship. You can vary the dosage. Dog shit. Gotta be honest with you. No support. If you really want to make it, make some piece of software and get bloody rich and say fuck y'all, because no one will ever do anything about this, especially in this country. There's no guidelines. I mean, there are guidelines, but who should enforce them? You know, there's guidelines of a guidelines of a guideline. But the people enforcing those guidelines are busy learning about the guidelines, while they have to redo and recertificate about the guidelines to learn the guidelines, you know? There's one taking test, you need to learn about the guidelines. Are you up to date, man? Have you missed the demo, you know? It was in our meeting, man, in our stand-up call. You gotta be aware of those situations, man. If you miss any of the info, how can you enforce these laws if you don't know it, man? Oh, you get shitty pay for quite a shitty job, you know? You don't want to do this for 60 years, what's wrong with you? You're fucking foolish. Right? And then what this way is fucking no rules you can do. And I suppose that's how it is. sometimes I feel like there was a point in my life where I could speak mostly German. Then there was a point in my life where I spoke mostly English and forgot about German. And now, at the moment, at the time, as always, I feel like I'm losing balls. Like, not being able to talk about anything. People compliment me from time to time because of my eloquence. It's just copy chat shit. It's just brute force shit. With everything. Why did it make a sound? I heard the computer make a shitty sound. As I was saying, the language stuff. Keep on doing language stuff. Doesn't have to be people on doing. I had a voice like that. Do something with languages, pronunciation, and whatnot. I think it's a very complex subject. To hear a word, speak a word, write a word, to think about a thought, and to formulate a different language. It's a mental contemporary fuckery. And if it's a pace so fast, you gotta be aware there's a reason why it's different. So you gotta learn. Every component you see that is like simple to Germany is was like, wow, this is successful. Nah, it's just special. We got this, but we are super common. So today I saw like a funny post on Instagram about what is it? The faxing machine with AI, you know? This is typical. So from a hacker replay, I think we are somewhat protected from modern, which is good in some areas, but also very bad in others. If digitalization arrives, then in very slow and incremental legacy steps, and I think this will be our final nail on the coffin. Fucking people will not be here for you. Will not believe. Can I? Yeah, I can do it. That's nice. I'm doing some balancing act. Don't worry, it's just high speed downwards and I'm listening to music and driving and it's raining and slippery. Nothing can happen. This is like maximum risk at 10, 11, 12 degrees. But exactly what I need to wake up. Yeah? Sometimes you need to sort of wake up call, and that is the wake up call. Okay. My right thumb that I need to constantly hold for the gas is getting kind of numb. What I also hate about this automation process is that why can't you just do like some, what is this, temporal off, like speedometer? Because the speedometer, even if it would hit a wall, you know, it would just run in air, like run on empty, you know? There's no physical resistance from the ground, so yeah, why just don't do that? I'll tell you why. Because safety regulations, and they're good for everyone. Until somebody brings a piece of tape. Maybe you should do this, you know, bring a piece of tape on the acceleration, put it on there, or like a rubber band, something like this. What is it? Stumpf is Trumpf. I don't know how you just translate this, like stupid is easy or stupid or easy is the goal, something like this. It's very hard to translate. At least I have some gloves, otherwise I would have no fingers, you know, frostbite and whatnot. It takes me like 90% of the way. There's only a little bit of narrow space sidewalk, grass, muscles, the done, and then I'm finally there. If you compare this to other freestyle rants of mine, you'll see that the other ones were more focused. This is even for my standards worse. This is what I mean. I found a new low, which makes other lows look high, and this low is especially low. So, yeah. But the numbers, when I look at the numbers, they volumes, you know, the actual volumes, I can see like 2 or 3 people watch this at most after a couple of days or weeks, a month, you know. As opposed they zap in for like 1 or 2 minutes, and that is it. The funny thing is, it could be higher quality content, but this will mean more effort. And if you look at the YouTube landscape, high effort is everywhere. You know? And why should I compete to report Spencer Slim once again? Why try harder? It's quite funny. I saw something about AI coming for jobs and everything, creative, production, whatnot. You know, everyone gets unemployed. But there will be a time, somebody said, where handcrafted stuff will be prestige again, you know, and style. And I suppose this research trigger something, like one video of mine is like up Doofus, with Reddit goals and whatnot. But I find very interesting what I have mentioned about it. When I look at the stats, it doesn't matter what I talk about, but PP and Fufu and Kaka is like super popular. I think there's some sort of correlation because it's toilet humor and it's lowbrow and it's post-ironic funny maybe, and bodily functions, and everyone has them. They can relate with that shit. Maybe that's the reason. But yeah, I think if I were like some constant drift madman, like I somewhat am, well, let's call it something, then I'd say, yeah, I like demographics, PP, Fufu, Kaka, humor, and I'd focus on that. But there's also some things. Maybe, just maybe, there is one point. Another guy at a place where I was diagnosed me, to diagnose me, quite interesting. He said, nah man, I think I can undiagnose you. And yeah, that's what it is. It's nothing. You gotta do the same thing. If somebody labels you sick, just say, self-diagnose yourself. It goes. Oh. Oh, where's the zipper? Oh, there we have it.